Hello everybody and welcome back to the And More Bus Videos YouTube channel. I'm And More Bus Videos, otherwise known as And More Central, depending on what video you're watching and what day of the week it is. And welcome to Paignton Royal Hospital, near Paignton Centre on Westcountry version 3.03. In front of us, we don't have a Devon bus vehicle. As promised, we do have a First South Yorkshire street light. Specifically, now withdrawn 63001. Now, if you watched my previous video on OMSI 2, you will know exactly why this bus is withdrawn. You're probably looking and going, it's a 13 plate, it shouldn't be withdrawn. But if you watch my previous video, you'll know exactly why it's withdrawn, and you know exactly why we're driving this on this specific one. I was about to say buying it, but I've already got the bus, as you can see. But why we're driving it on this specific run today. So in this video, we are going to take the 12 service from Paignton Royal Hospital all the way up to Stoneleigh via the town centre. That's a lot easier than the Yorkshire Counties one that was set up. A lot easier, first time without an issue. We are also using, as well as the amazing First South Yorkshire repaint pack, we're also using the Hoff files, the First South Yorkshire style Hoff files that come with the repaint pack. I do recommend using them because all the blinds work, I don't have any issues with them, and they just add a little bit more Sheffield-esque to the maps that you drive, and they're available to use on Lincolnshire, Westcountry and Yorkshire Counties 3.0 at the moment. So you can probably guess where my next route drive with one of these buses is going to be. So for some reason in version 3.03 the 12 service is now I believe every hour rather than every half an hour. Or every 15 minutes, should I say. It's definitely not every 15 minutes. I think it might be, as I say, it won't be every hour. I believe it's every half an hour. But it's a little bit odd that they've sort of changed it from a very, very tight every 15-minute frequency to every half an hour. Definitely a change. I also really, really like that bit at the back. That's cool. That's just like the 81s to door and stuff like that when they put the blind on the back as well. That's a nice little feature. But yeah, I think it's every half an hour now rather than every hour. Now, we are on a weekday timetable while I'm driving this, but it seems to be every half an hour instead of every 15 minutes. That is a little bit different. I don't remember it being like this before, but I think they've slightly changed the end-to-end journey time on it. Something or another. They've done something with it where the journey time's slightly different. Because we leave at 13 rather than quarter past. Although again, I might just be remembering it incorrectly. But it does seem to be a little bit different, although I imagine it interworks a lot better now with the 122 service, because I think the 122 goes up to Stoneleigh all the time now. Problem is, usually you can follow the line of the bus in front, but with it being OMSI, it's something I just daren't do, because you never know, the bus might cut through a static packed up car or something. So it's not a chance you can ever take when you're driving this game. But yeah, the reason we're driving 63001 is it's sort of a little bit of a farewell to the streetlights, as the three that actually got painted and branded up in Sheffield branding have now been withdrawn. They've been debranded and readied. Are you not getting on? I thought you were. You looked like you were walking up to the stop. Okay. Didn't make any difference anyway. But they've now been debranded and made ready to return back to the company that they leased the buses off of. They were part of the 37 streetlights from 63001 all the way through to 37 that were on a 10-year lease programme that is now finished. Now, I don't think they realised that they were on a lease programme or kind of forgot when 63001 and 2 both went for interior refurbs. As you can see, just like they are in real life, that it is a shame that they got refurbished and then instantaneously withdrawn, and got ready, obviously, for potential a further lease or sale. I didn't actually get to film any of these with the interior. I did go on one with the refurbished interior, but never got to film any, unfortunately, because we're always very, very busy. The issue you tend to find with Sheffield is most of the routes, especially since they've been cut back even more, a lot of the routes are sort of really intended for double deckers. So when you put the single deckers on in between, they can just end up very, very busy. So if you're not in the right place at the right time, or the bus is always on a busy diagram, it's quite difficult to actually go on them and film them. So unfortunately, 63001 and 2 were two that got away. But I did manage to go on one of them. I did a short hop on one when it was very, very busy. Got to see the interiors that I did think looked really, really nice. I am hoping that with these ones that they've got from Southampton and the Southampton City Red ones, I am hoping they can do the interior job to them as well, because they are going to be sticking around. Let's just move that forward a little bit. Stopped a little bit quicker than I was expecting. Yeah, it would be nice to see this interior job done to the Southampton Reds. A few of you will be noting that they've been repainted already, quite a few of them. I mentioned it in the last video, a few were repainted before they actually entered service. And there was quite a few that entered service in red, or quite a few that have been repainted. I think 63054 is the first one that entered service in red and is now painted in blue. The main differences that you see with the blue on them is this section that you can see is a curve, is actually flat and goes all the way down. For a little bit of context, I'll zoom in and covers this area of cream here. So right where the number is, to the left of that, to where the black headlights are, and all the way down there, all the way around. There's no curve, it just follows the lines. So you can see a bit of a difference with how these were painted versus how the Southampton ones have been painted. That's why if you were one of those that photographed, or were lucky enough to sort of see and photograph these streetlights before they got withdrawn and got ready to be returned to leases, you'll notice the difference in your photographs and things. So it's only a subtle difference. It does make quite a bit of a difference. I mean, I understand why they've done it. It's possibly a lot easier for panel replacements and painting in sort of quick fashion and stuff like that. It's a lot easier with that element, but I would say that I do think that the curve possibly suited these a little bit more. Let me know what you think in the description below, or not in the description, in the comments. The description is the bit that I write. Let me know in the comments below what you think. And I think the curves potentially done ever so slightly differently, but the curves were better than just the flat lines down. But I do think we'll get a much better comparison when the ex-Southamptons get branded up. So hopefully they'll get branded up in Escafeld branding, because we have now lost the 3 buses that were in said branding. So it would be quite nice. I think 3 or 4, because I think, did 63004 get something in the end? It was all very, very confusing. I kind of stopped paying attention a little bit when I knew they were going off lease, because I knew I had photos of all 3 of them that got painted up and branded up quite quickly, so I kind of just left it at that. Alright, we're bang on time, and what's even more exciting is a 122's just got in front of us. Brilliant. That's what we like. So I'll let all of these people on, and I'm kind of going to sit here a little bit to see if the 122 can take a couple more people. Make our lives a little bit easier. Is he gone? There we go, he's going into the abyss. Or they might have just disappeared, I mean, either or. So there we go, so permitted it hasn't just pinged off into the abyss. Hopefully it's got a little bit of distance on us so he can try and take a few people. And plus, we've just been stuck behind the 100. I don't fancy getting stuck behind the 122 as well. Ah, yes, it has cleared everyone. Brilliant. That's what we wanted. Get everybody on the lovely open top bus. Because, as I say, we're bang on time, as it says on the ticket machine. So it's not hindered our timings at all. I'm going to have to straddle a little bit these lanes to get round. There we go, because straddling them makes it easier and ensures that nobody goes on the outside lane that I just end up wiping out. And there is nobody there, because that's taken everyone. So that, in fairness, means we probably didn't even need to go in. I'm going to let me out. Brilliant. There we go. I do love that destination blind at the back. With basically the 81s have that where they got 81 and door on the back. I don't know of many other routes that have that on the back on the blinds. I'm trying to think. I think it is literally just the 81s and 2s. I'm sure it is because obviously door just fits. They put door on the back that I just think's awesome. It's just something really. It's one of those really little quirky things. So I'm really chuffed that it's been included on this. There goes the other 12. It's got a lot of power in it as this one. I just wish that OMSI AI wasn't obviously mapped to how German roads work, and we had a little bit like the traffic moved over and I could overtake them properly instead of looking like I'm undertaking everyone. Now, if I remember correctly with this junction, you can have in both lanes to go straight on. Yes, there we go. Because back in the day when it was just a roundabout, you had to then go into the right-hand lane to go across. And don't get me wrong, I love the challenge and I love the concept of queuing. However, the roundabout itself, it was just a nightmare. This is this argument again that I end up bringing up every few videos, where unfortunately, although they can be constructed beautifully, OMSI 2 just does not like roundabouts. Roundabouts do not behave properly in OMSI 2. It's just unfortunately one of these things. It's a shame, like, because they would be really nice, but they just don't behave properly, unfortunately. Just hold on. There we go. And then that's the old shut depot outstation thing. Now they've actually opened the section 2 now, so you can actually drive in and out of it. That's pretty cool. Because I remember before, when the map was released, it was all boarded up, so you could spawn in there, but it was kind of like, well, what do you do now? So I'm glad that that's been sorted. I mean, it's an incredibly basic yard, and it's not the main depot and all of that lot, but it's still pretty cool. And if you want to sort of have an afternoon pretending you work at the outstation there, and driving 122s and random school runs and all of that lot, then that's the way to do it. Well, the main challenge for this bus is going to be this hill coming up. That's why I just love driving the 122 or the 12s, because this hill does separate the vehicle types out. Although I must say that this streetlight does appear to be performing a lot nicer on here than it did on Yorkshire in the last video. I mean, the exact same spec, exact same engine and everything, and it does seem to be performing a lot better on here. I think on the other map there's just a lot, it's very, very dense and there's a lot of high polys on it, and I think the issue with that is the street light, that's also quite a highly detailed model, doesn't work nicely with that, because they're both trying to fight for RAM. So well, thank you for waiting there and letting us out. I mean, I gave you enough room to go past, but still very nice of you. Now, if you're trying to get a run up on this hill, stopping at that bus stop, just then your said run up does not happen. I mean, well, that's a relatively nice screenshot. I've chosen a cloudy day today because although it is nice to always driving the sunny weather, it isn't realistic that it's always sunny. So let's see if that works. I mean, yeah, we'll use one of those too. Come on, boss, you can do it. You're not gonna drop again? Okay. There we go. Drop just as you get to the top. The sounds like to cut out a little bit as well, I've noticed. Every so often. Although I've noticed that with a few buses. I don't know what the crack is there, but. And then there's also some that you get that I've driven recently where you'll go from this cab view into the outside, and that was really, really good because instantly the sound changed. It was spot on. But there's some that it's just silent for a couple of seconds, and then the bus goes, "Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be making a sound, aren't I?" And then makes said sound. If you watch a couple of my videos back, you might notice. I can't remember what vehicle types, as it's been a while, but you can have a nosy. You'll find one. So there we go. They're driving that bad that passengers want to leave the bus. What did I do? I was not happy with that curve bump, but OMSI AI dictates that when OMSI AI stops, you have to go around it. It's not like in real life where you can have a little bit of a negotiation. You are absolutely scuppered at that point. So let's go through. Apologies if you can hear any sounds in the background of the voice. For some reason, there's a chainsaw going off. So I do apologise if there is any interference to the sound. I mean, it's only been the back end of this video, thankfully, but I think it'll affect my next one. So I'm not getting off yet, but I thought I'd change the blind to not in service now. Just so I can pull into any stand when I get there. And there goes another 1, 2, 2. There must be, I think there's 3 of them out on diagram now. So there's 3 of them. So that must be more frequent. And the 12 must be less frequent. So there we go, just like for South Yorkshire as well. Sorry, this bus is not in service. Look at that. What a way to end off this video. So I do hope you've enjoyed this run. A nice little short drive on the 12 service. Just a nice casual route to have a drive of. Always a nice run to revisit. And always a nice run to test some of the different types of buses that we drive. And have a nice discussion. Because I know the route quite nicely. So I'm not looking, oh, where am I going? What am I doing? All of this, all of that. So it's quite nice. So if you have enjoyed this video, do be sure to click that like button so that more people can find it and enjoy like you have. And if you haven't already, do be sure to subscribe to the And More Bus Videos YouTube channel for more content like this from your simulation section, as well as an archive of over 5,000 backseat and engine-focused public transport videos from the UK and beyond. With buses, trams, trains and more, there's something on there for everyone, with an additional 21 videos released on there per week, alongside these OMSI 2 videos. So do make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on anything, and check out those archives as there's something in there for everyone. Do also go and check out my main channel and more central for more content from the real life bus industry, with a lot of focus on Sheffield, including the Southampton street lights that I mentioned, as well as a few other random transfers and brands that have been released quite recently and being released soon. Once again, though, I would like to thank you all for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed this one, and I will see you all in the next video, mate. Goodbye for now. Bye.